Greetings and welcome back to the Plant Temple. Today I'm going to be showing you some of my philodendron. First up, silver sword philodendron. I've had this plant since November of 2021, and in that time it has grown probably 1.5 feet in almost every direction. It was already a large plant, but as you can see, it is a very full plant and spreads out well over 3 feet. This plant lives in this corner of my kitchen, which is the southern facing corner of my house. And this plant was very temperamental when I first got it. It would dry out really quickly. So I found that using a water spike and making sure that I soak it once every 3 to 4 months was the solution. And since then it has been thriving, and there's a lot of times where I think that it needs water, but I will wait a little while until I see some of these top leaves or even some of the bottom leaves start to lose some of their consistency, just so I make sure I'm not overwatering and creating some root rot or some waterlog. And this technique has worked really well for me because, as you can see, it has lots of new leaves coming out, and it has lots of mature leaves that don't have any signs of problems. They are all very healthy looking, and that to me is success. Next up is the Paraiso Verde. Where my silver sword has a silver sheen on its leaf, you can see that the Paraiso Verde has a variegated green that I also really like. So I've had this since September of 2022, and in that time it has put out 4 new leaves. It has lost 1 leaf and has grown in height by about 18 inches. It was sent to me with just the roots and no soil. So when I got it, I soaked it in water to make sure that it was going to get its strength and its form back. And then I planted it in this custom substrate. This custom substrate has a mix of lots of different things. We'll talk about that in another video. But the custom substrate is one part. The other part of this particular plant was an experiment where I took its lead node and I put it in water. And I have been watering it through the lead node. Since September, I have watered it in this facet 4 times and have not watered it in the water spike or on the bottom. To say that simply, I watered it through the lead node for 2 to 3 months, and then I gave it 1 good bottle of water through the top spike. This is an ongoing experiment to see what is going to happen with this particular plant. So far it's healthy, and this is its newest leaf. Next up is my Bueno. I got this plant in July, and since then it has grown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves, but we lost 1. You can see this plant is very similar to the Paraiso Verde, but it is different in its leaf shape and in the pattern of green when you really look closely. I have this plant's planter living in Leica so that I can water around the plant and not worry about root rot. The roots will dig through the planter and actually get into the soil. And they've done that now. You can see it's actually kind of hard for me to pull this out of here. That's because the roots have actually connected into the Leica, and when I get ready to transplant it, I will cut the plastic tray away. I wait several weeks between watering because I want to make sure that the plant has had a chance to dry out and use all of the moisture And again, this helps prevent root rot. Next up is a Philodendron Mexicanum. This plant I was given as a gift. It was a cutting from someone else's plant. When I got the cutting, I think it had 2, maybe 3 leaves on it. Now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, with an 11th leaf on the way, and we already lost a leaf, so that's 12 or 13 new leaves in the last 6 months. Like the Paraiso Verde, this is in a custom substrate mix. It also has a straw in it to help with aeration. I decided to stake this plant because the vine was growing out and I wanted it to grow up instead of out and down. To stake it, I used a bamboo stick with a cork left over from a wine bottle that I drilled a hole into so that it would fit the bamboo stick. And I connected it with garden twine that I cut into small strips so that I can easily attach it. To help prevent bugs and gnats and avoiding root rot, I water it from the bottom. Like most of my plants, I do not water this often. I give it a very thorough watering once every 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes even once a month. The thing I love about this plant is its mature leaf shape, where it has this angle here like an arrow. Really appreciate how that looks, kind of sword-like. Shout out to saladbeardfarms for the gift. These types of philodendrons seem to like a lot of light, so I have different grow lights in different places for that purpose. Let me know if you'd like to see a video on that in the future. That wraps up the video for today. Thanks for visiting the Plant Tipple. Don't forget to check out How to Grow, Nurture Your Garden, Nurture Yourself, the personal growth book written through the lens of the garden. Until next time, everybody.